My name is Bruce Wirt. I am the channel chief, VP of channel sales. Robert's got a different title for me on every slideshow that he does. But my responsibility is on the indirect side of the business. I have Sean Nace with us. He's my senior sales engineer. He works exclusively with the channel nationwide, and Robert Velazquez, who's my senior channel manager. He supports the greater Southeast. Like that. Okay, so we've been in business. I'm going to just make all these happen. And we'll talk through the summary there. So I'll tell you about the overall organization. So we're part of a, I went too far. We're part of a communications company called BCI, about a $2 billion organization. We started in the newspaper business, so we own the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette and the Toledo Blade newspapers. That was the genesis of the organization back in the early 1900s. Early adopters in the MSO world, so we started Buckeye Broadband, Buckeye Cable in Ohio. Anybody familiar with Buckeye Cable? You have an opportunity there that you can't sell and get paid for. That's us. And then in 2014, we acquired LSI, and the drive there was BCI did a very good job with their brands in the greater Ohio area, and they wanted to grow that organization nationally. So Telesystem, which you'll see more and more, LSI says division of Telesystem. Telesystem will be our brand for commercial telecom across all of the organizations. The reason we kept the LSI brand in the agent channel was because it had a little bit more legs. LSI had reach all across the eastern seaboard. So that's the reasoning behind why you see LSI. I don't want anybody to get confused about LSI and Telesystem. It's the same thing. So we've been in business for 23 years. Very early adopters in the CLEC space, started selling commercial data over top of that Buckeye Cable infrastructure. Moved into the voice game, and here we are today. Our product portfolio is voice and data and security. The play that we'll talk about today is more in the security sector, and we have a very exciting product that almost nobody is selling nationwide, so you guys will get a snapshot on that. 21,000 customers across 40 states and 5 international destinations. Our customers range from, a 5-person pizza shop all the way up to we light towers for Verizon Wireless, lots of major hospital systems. So we can do the smallest customers, and then we also play very, very well in the enterprise space. And then I said we own MSO assets in various spots. We purchased an MSO at the same time that we purchased LSI, and that company was called Max South. It's a small cable company in Mississippi. So our national network, so you see our pops, New York, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Mississippi, Dallas, Denver, Chicago, Michigan, and Ohio. So in that Michigan and Ohio space, we own those 2 data centers, also own the facility in Mississippi. But the value play in those 2 data centers in Ohio and Michigan, it's a Google cache server, there's a Netflix cache server there, HIPAA compliant, SOC, PCI. So when you sell those services, we're one of the few companies that will sign a HIPAA BAA for those types of services and those types of customers because we spend the money to do the third-party audits there. So prior to this, I'll tell you a little bit about why we're here with TCG, and then I'll turn it over to Robert. But prior to this, I spent 10 years as the VP of sales for another national competitor. We did business through TCG, and so when I came to take this opportunity because of the growth, I started talking to Dan, and he said, I really like this. I like this a lot better than what you were doing before, and we want to do business together. But let me tell you that the thing that we really need more than anything else is I need you to put a channel manager down here to do that. So I said, okay, and we started to interview channel managers, and then Dan calls about a month later and says, you know what, I really like this so much that I want to put your channel manager down here for you. I want to give you somebody that I want you to work with. And I started talking to Robert Velazquez, who had a lot of success at Windstream for 16 years.
about that.
16 years, spent a little bit of time at Comcast as well, and I really liked him, and you know, I saw the way he interacted with not only the TCG group, but agents at large, and I said, that's my guy. So Robert's been on my team for a couple of months now, and he's adopted everything that we do. He tells our story almost better than I do. So now I want to turn it over to Robert Velazquez, and we'll talk about Internet Security as a Service.
Hi. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Dan. Without Dan, I would not be here today. So here's what we're going to do today. So on the agenda, in the next 35 minutes, my goal is to get you guys, build your brand, get you more opportunities, an advantage, and bigger sales. At the end, you hold me to that. Deal? All right. So what keeps CIOs and the new guy in town, CISOs, up at night? The guy wasn't around 5 years ago, the information security officer. He was not around. What the analysts are saying, why is this important? Is because the best years you guys have is you have a product that goes where the money is, right? Let's see what the analysts say where the money is. Henry, are you okay? So, all right, we're going to talk about raw internet as opposed to secure internet. We're going to talk about our story, the game changer. I'm going to give you a game changer. We have about a 1.5 year lead time over everybody else, and you'll see that. Obviously, we're going to talk about price, what's our value. And mainly, most important at the end, I'm going to talk to you about how to grow your business. Okay, I have an all BDM background. Some of you guys know me. I did a lot of educational events. We're going to talk about strategies and build your brand. Deal? All right. My favorite book. Did you know your ability to focus determines your success more than your IQ, your education, or the family you come from? I'll repeat that. Your ability to, your success is determined by your ability to focus more than your education, your IQ, or the family you come from. For the next 35 minutes, would you be here with me? Yes? Deal? All right. All right. So in the cybersecurity, all you see today when you open your email or the news is attacks. They're up 10%, and these attacks are going to keep growing, right? That's all you see today in today's world when they talk about that. And what happens when customers get attacked, they lose their brand. They lose their stock goes down, right? They have public, if you're public in the state of Florida, you have 30 days to declare that you were hit, why you were hit, who hit you, what clients or what customers were affected, right? And that's going to change soon. Skype and Google got hit. Now, I like to use Ashley Madison. None of you were members, I know. I think you were Tarzan 1111 and Ashley Madison, no? So what happened, they got hit by 70,000 bots, and today they're called Ruby Corp. And that goes to show you what happens when your brand gets hit. Customers today are really concerned about that. We're going to talk about that. So here's the money. By 2021, according to Gartner, and Gartner speaks their goal, right? The security business is going to be $1 trillion. The DDoS is going to be $3 billion. Your best years you've had, and I've had, is when you had a product that meets those needs, right? And I'm going to show you what we have for you guys today. We're going to show you how to get into security with us, real easy. Grab our hand, we'll pull you through. Learning curve is going to be real slow, real easy. We'll show you that. All right. If you've not heard of this, this is called Ransom DDoS Attack. Number one challenge today, number one reason why people attack is for money. Over the last 2 years, $25 million have been paying ransom, right? And according to Radware report came out 2 months ago, ask me about it, I'll email you the report. 1 out of 6 organizations has been hit by ransom, right? This report just came out a few months ago. This is what a ransom attack looks like. Let me get over here so Henry can see. So here's what the attack is saying. They want 300 Bitcoins. 1 Bitcoin is approximately $3,000, $2,600 to $2,900, depending on the market, right? So this is a $900,000 ransom. And they're saying here you have 3 days to pay, and if you don't submit the payment, the price will be double, and in 7 days you don't get your data back. 1 out of 6 organizations seeing this pop up on their screen, okay? And we don't have a solution for this. All right, so what's the analysts are saying? So IDC, everybody heard of IDC here? Good company? They're saying the number one concern in 2017 is protect your devices, protect your network with DDoS. The CISO, and we're going to talk about a CISO in a couple slides. How many people know what a CISO is? A couple? All right. We're going to talk about that. That's the number one concern in companies today. Protect your network. Gartner's saying the same thing. You better have a complex, good solution to protect yourself from these attacks. is better if you get it from your carriers, right? And we're gonna show you that. So here's the CISO. This guy is the new MVP in town. His whole role in life is to protect the assets of the organization. What's more important than anything that's Internet of Things, right? So the CEO wakes up every morning and wants to know, CISO, are we okay? Are we protected? Are we meeting compliance? And we're going to show you how we're going to help you get from cradle to grave in security. Any questions on the CISO? Now everybody knows what a CISO is, right? Join the CISO networks on LinkedIn. Anywhere you see a CISO, this is the guy you want to know. This is the new MVP in town. All right. What is raw internet? Well, from 88 to 1999, I sold equipment PBX. In 1999, March 1st, I joined US Leg, who became Paytech, who became Windstream, right? And I saw raw internet for 16 years. So what is raw internet? We deliver a pipe, let's say it's 100 meg, into the customer's environment with a managed router. Well, that is just raw. That means I can go into your customer's environment and serve one of your servers and order flowers, right? I can do banking by phone. But there is no protection, right? That's what we've all been selling, and we sell a lot of it. So what happens in an attack? Here's the anatomy of attack. It's real simple, and this is why this is so vicious. A computer gets infected. The criminal sends to the server the information to attack, and your computer, unbeknownst to you, receives the orders, and then they attack the target. Simple. It's so simple that if you see the news, 19-year-old guy just got arrested in Israel for 3 years of making money doing this. They sell this service by the hour. You don't even have to. You don't even have to do it. They'll sell it to you on the web, right? The average attack is 24 hours. How much money can a company lose in 24 hours? They can't get to the servers. 24 hours. A bot is short for robot. Is when they infect one computer. A botnet is when they infect multiple computers, thousands of computers. All right? So this is so simple. This is going on, and this is not going to stop. Good for us, because we're going to have a solution for you guys. All right. So here's our story. Bruce told you we've been around 23 years. In about 2014, we got hit. Our routers got hit. Our edge routers got hit. We were down for 24 hours. Were you involved with that, Sean?
Yeah, it was about that. I mean, it just, a single botnet. In the case of say the Mirai botnet attack against Dime can overwhelm a single edge router, even internet service providers, core routers, to the point where they're suffering severe latency. We had an attack against a financial institution that affected a good segment of our network for the better part of the business day, which is why we made the decision that Robert said back in 2014 to secure our whole network.
We decided to secure our network and the customers. So here's what we did. So we vetted some big players. Radware, who's heard of Radware? Big player. Arbonet, good player. And Correro. We put them in trials. We ended up going with Correro. They're all fantastic. They're all good. But we have Correro in our core. Right now, we implemented them in 2015. We have over 1,000 customers and already being serviced by this product. And we average 600 attacks per customer on our network. Of course, they never get in, and I'll show you that. Which means that no incidents. Now, we do that. So can the other guys. But I'm going to show you how we're going to give you the product half the price with fiber included. We're throwing a no-hit. I'm a baseball guy, so I got to use baseball analogies. All right. So what is secure internet? So now you guys, how many people selling raw internet, Comcast, fiber here, right? Same thing. We deliver the fiber. The difference is when our fiber is connected, all the traffic has to go to our core. So if we see a volume attack of any size, we block it. If we see a bot or a botnet, we block it. If we see third-party scanning because they scan you before they attack you, we block it, right? If we see the large attacks or a slow attack, we block it. So it means all the traffic going into here is protected. We're the only carrier doing that. In about a year and a half, everybody's going to have it. We just started before everybody else. All right? Any questions on this so far? All right. So I'm not going to show you a 2-minute video, but there's a 2-minute video that shows you exactly what's happening at the core, how we scrub it, and how we go forward, okay? I'll send you this presentation so you guys can see the video. All right, so before I get to the next slide, guys, here's the thing. It's about security. That's where the money's going, right? educate yourself first. If you go to Google Alert and you put the word DDoS, every week you get 2 emails a week with little links inside of what's happening, who's getting attacked, how they're attacking, how they're defending, and so on. You watch too many videos on YouTube, and right where it has a great video on what a botnet is, which I showed you earlier. All right. So pricing. Who has priced DDoS here before? Anybody priced DDoS? Alan? From what? You remember what carrier? CenturyLink? Okay. The one of the, okay. Good. So here's what if you get level 3 as a player in DDoS. So if you have 100 meg and you want protection from DDoS and attacks, it's $3,500 for the service, and let's assume the 100 meg is $1,000, right? That's a good price. So it's $4,500, right, a month, right? Comcast. I was at Comcast, and we sold this. It's about $6,500 if you want it, what is called always on. Ours is always on, automatic, always blocking 24/7. Akamai deals in very big stuff, and they're one of the most expensive. Imperva is a player, AT&T is a player, CenturyLink is a player. They sell all this. Now here's what we do. This is on 100 meg. Depending on the building, we'll provide the fiber and the service anywhere between 600 and 2,400 on 100 meg. That includes the fiber. So what do customers do? So if instead of paying $4,500, they pay half the price and get 100 meg fiber. They take the fiber and they put it in front of the network. They take the raw that they have and put it as backup. Right? So now they have redundancy and they have protection up front. So what do they do with the savings? They can buy all the TCG products, all the security products. That makes sense? Because if you go in there, put in the value proposition, you have an edge over anybody else, right? Of course, price is based on surveys. Any questions on this so far? All right, so here's an example. I just did that. 300 meg circuit, 1210, 1563 for the 300 meg. This is level 3. The service for 300 meg is $4,450. So $6,000 is the service. So they're looking at DDoS, right? So we came in there, we're $3,000, right? So now, for you guys, instead of just selling raw, now you can sell secure internet, and you make twice the MRC. And the customer gets half the price. And you start positioning yourself, and we're going to talk about positioning. Any question on this here?
Robert, what kind of customers want secure internet? I mean, I imagine because a lot of people in here are getting price wars, and it's all about the cheapest internet you can find. I mean, who is a good target? Financial, medical.
Absolutely. Who? Yeah. Who has customer-facing? Who has customer-facing servers? Those guys, depending how much they got to lose on it, have DDoS, will get DDoS, or going to get DDoS. So anybody facing the public where you can go in and serve, those people have some kind of protection or will get some protection.
Robert, can I just say something?
Sure.
So just being in the channel for 15 years, so many of our competitors don't allow E-rate pricing or E-rate bids out to the agent channel. So one of the major verticals for DDoS protection is education, because kids don't want to take the public tests that come out once or twice a year. They'll launch an attack from their smartphone and shut the entire network down. You'd mentioned Comcast, so we've won Comcast customers over because of that fact, and we have some case studies on that. So education is by far the biggest vertical right now because of it's just so easy to launch an attack. And we will allow you to use our SPIN number and quote E-rate.
Good.
You talk about there's a different speed.
Right.
What about for fixed wireless broadband?
We can only do the protection with fiber because it's got to come back to our data center. We'll talk a little bit about applications that I have here with broadband, but the fiber is where we can do it. Broadband is a shared resource, so you really can't cover that. But there's other ways to do it. Okay, but we can talk. I'd like to hear that. All right. So here's what the other day I was talking to Brendan Donnelly. I'm not going to take it. I'm going to give him credit. So he sees this, and Brendan Donnelly is looking at it, and he's with David Simpson. He gets up and goes, okay, here's the way I'm going to propose to Robert. He says, when a customer wants this product or looking at internet, I'm saying, Mr. Customer, for your solution, the best It's 100 meg raw internet. That's a good solution. You know what's a better solution? 100 meg raw internet with backup coax or some kind of coax. That's a better solution, right? And Mr. Customer, you know what's the best solution? Would be a secure internet with a coax backup. Why don't you give them all the options? You're branding yourself. You let them know I have it. If you don't buy from me now, you'll buy from me soon, whenever you look at it. Because when they look at every other player, it's twice the price. And we're going to talk about branding later. How you make your company shine and have a competitive advantage. So always bring it up. Always put it on the table. Because now you're marketing to them. And they know you had it. Renewals. Man, I remember from 2001 to 2012, renewals were upsells. And now renewals are downsells. Am I right? Well, if they're paying $2,000 for a 100 meg, as a customer, hold on, you're already paying that? Why don't you get secure internet service for the $2,000 and now you protect your network, right? So now no longer downsells, right? And again, you're marketing. We're going to talk about branding in a minute. So again, once you bring this up to the conversation at the table, education, you're educating them, and they remember you. No other carrier is doing this. You got about a year and a half advantage of everybody else. AT&T, Verizon, they're all going to be doing this in a couple of years. All right, worst pain ever. Not marriage, not relationship. In sales and marketing, worst pain ever. What's the worst thing that can happen in sales? Huh? Lose a deal, yeah. How about this? Have you ever shown up 30 days too late? When they just bought it from level 3 at twice the price, and you could give them a better product, half the price, and sell them more stuff, and you would have got twice the MRC? I'm going to show you in a couple of slides the cure for that. All right? That's not going to happen to you. We got some strategies here. You're going to start building your brand. You're going to get more opportunities. You're going to get more appointments. All right. Security cradle to grave. Where's Mike? I was talking to Mike earlier about security. So the first step in security is that the blocking of the DDoS. That's the front line of defense. But companies have to train employees. You have to have backups. Where's Glenn from Host.net? Best game in town for small business to middle business and backup. You got to have backups, right? But then we take care of phishing and ransomware with Sophos. Who's familiar with Sophos? I'm going to tell you about Sophos in a minute. So we protect you. So somebody downloads from your computer malware or ransomware. The minute that tries to open, we take it, sandbox it, get out of the system, detonate it, and put a report on what happened. So we'll take care of the other end, okay? Data protection, encryption, medical. Do you know if you lose your laptop or leave it in a cab and somebody picks up that PC and opens that file, it's $1.5 million fine for HIPAA per case. We with Sophos do encryption all the way from the application to the disk, so Word or PowerPoint. The minute you create it, it's already encrypted. So if you send an email to the wrong person, you send it to Bob, it was meant for Bruce, and Bob opens it, he just saw my pricing, he just saw my intellectual properties, right? With this, it's so automatically encrypted, so he cannot open it. He just sees junk. So if somebody steals your laptop, all the data is encrypted. Hospitals, banks, compliance is huge. Ask questions about compliance. Sophos is the only one that is doing encryption from the minute the folder or the file is created. It follows the file. I can send a file to Dan. He's not my trusted source, but I can text him my password and key. And then you can open that file. But nobody else can. This is big in security. Root cause analysis. In Europe, as of May 25th, 2018, you have 72 hours to declare you were hit. You have to say who hit you, what customers were affected, what clients were affected. Today in Florida, it's 30 days. Soon that's going to change. Compliance. Root cause analysis will tell you who opened the email, where the email, what was hacked in that email, where did that email hacker go in the whole environment, a whole report back to you. So we do firewalls, endpoints, and server protection with Sophos, okay? 6 years in a row in the Gartner quadrant. The only vendor that is in firewalls and endpoints and mobile device management in the quadrant in the world. Is Sophos in firewalls, is Sophos in endpoints, they're also mobile device management. When you talk to CIOs or CISOs, IT guys, they know the product. And the features that I talked about, encryption, and data and root cause analysis, nobody has it. They do offer free 30-day trials. We can talk about that later. Real quick on Sophos, they have 5 labs around the world. Every 4.5 seconds, a virus is detected, a new virus. Every 6 to 10 seconds, they send out a patch. The old days where you patch up every month or every week or every hour is done. It's by the second now. This is the reason all their products, 100% of the technology, comes from the 5 labs around the world. All right, video of Sophos, which you can see later another time. Okay, so here's what an ideal organization looks like, completely secure. You got our products, Telesystems coming in with fiber, secured. You got backups with Host.net and Glenn, right? You got to have backups. Today you have cyber liability insurance. That did not exist a few years ago. The CISO did not exist, but that's a product. Bob Glenn is not here today, but you can talk to him about it, about security. And then you're protected with Sophos, the endpoints. So this is an organization that looks like the CISO and the CEO, CIO can sleep at night and say, we got everything on it. We're compliance, we're secure, we got the whole network. Now you have this in the portfolio of products from TCG. And we're going to talk about how to market this. Any questions on this so far? Bob? Doing the bit? All right. Here's an application, 9 locations. They put 100 meg secure internet here, 100 meg, this is peak 10. This is Miami Lakes. The rest of the locations, we put SD1 Versa. We'll talk about that another time. And we created MPLS. So now all the traffic is centralized here and here. So the endpoints here or the branches don't go out to the internet. So all the traffic that comes in and out is protected. That's an ideal situation. But anybody, you were asking that, who wants this? This is financial institution. They must have it. They have to have it by compliance. Hospitals, education, like Bruce was saying. All right. Any questions on security? I'm going to jump to something else before I talk strategy. Any questions on security? We're good? All right, look, we do Metaswitch and we have BroadSoft. We have it in multiple data center, redundancy, and so on. I'm not going to talk about the features. I'm going to talk about the scope of work. This application here is from a TCE agent in Atlanta. We're looking at 202 locations, 7 cable providers. We're providing the broadband. We're providing 4G wireless backup. Our wireless 4G backup has an SLA. It's 18 by 8 and 2 by 8 guarantee SLA. You can put voice on it 100 milliseconds. We will do the wireless routers, the PoE switches, and the Edgewater, AT adapters, 7 devices at each locations. We're using 7 different cable providers. We highlighted the yellow one because we own Buckeye. This is all we're including one of the. We're unlimited long distance, $125 cable drop where needed, and of course live training. Okay, so we're doing this in 27 states. You think we're going to win this? You think? What could make this better? Secure internet could make it better, absolutely. How about this? You know Science Logic? 1 pane of glass in our data center, our techs sit there, and we have every single of those devices pinging to us from every single carrier. Somebody unplugs a device, it goes bad, we put a ticket, and we take care of it. So the customer is now getting 1 bill, all these products in one, and we're monitoring the whole thing. We're just waiting now for legal. They wanted to have the downturn clause yesterday and get it back. $90,000 a month. TCG agent, Strickland, in Atlanta, and we should have this. Later on, we'll announce it next week. Oh, hopefully we'll get the logo and up there. Questions?
On the bottom line there, for your cable drops, is that pretty much a standard across the U.S.?
Yeah, it's a rate we can honor. Yeah, it's a rate we can honor pretty much anywhere. Most likely, it's actually going to be cheaper than that, and that's based on like a 100-foot run, 100-foot drop. But yeah, we just use that as a baseline.
Yeah, because we get asked all the time. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
2-hour SLA in almost every major and mid-market city in America. The other thing with Science Logic, guys, and just having experience in the aggregation space, there's a ton of aggregators that'll give you 1 bill, but what they fail to do, and I lived this for 10 years prior to being here, what they fail to do is actually manage and monitor. So it's a very tedious process when you're aggregating and then the customer's calling you much faster than you're calling them to say you're down. So that Science Logic Everything Robert mentioned today was significant investment, and that should show you the commitment that we have, both to the national telecom space, but also to the channel. You're talking about millions of dollars in Carrera, Sophos, and the core, and then Science Logic at all those edge devices. That's giving us real-time, millisecond type speed data about these connections, not just up-down, but latency, MOS scores, that kind of thing.
Latency, jitter, packet loss. It's true SNMP monitoring. So we're going down to check for the CPU utilization, a fan speed, temperature, and so forth. And we're fully transparent. We give customers, especially multi-location enterprise customers, a login so they can see what's going on. We're not hiding anything. We're going to give you full access to this. It syncs directly with our ticketing system, so it's real-time updates on those trouble tickets as something restores or when a tech puts an update in that trouble ticket. We're not hiding anything. We're giving you full access, better business intelligence than you have in most cases.
Yeah. Every major hosted provider was in this bid, every major carrier, but only one could put all this together. So it goes, as an agent here at TCG, you can drive down the street, any multi-location, where they're small or big, we can handle it, and we can do the whole scope of work. Few can do that. We can do a single location. Here's one where one location, 357 seats, and we put in 1 gig from one carrier from a different central office, and then we put in 100 meg backup from a different carrier, different route, different central office. True redundancy. Since we have any eyes with all of them, we can really choose what's best for the customer. As Bruce mentioned, all our products are PCI, SOC 1 and 2 compliant. Okay. SIP trunking. 1595 unlimited. We have our agent here in Florida who made the spiff. He got a 65-inch Visual 65K 4K TV. He did 4,000 just in SIP. We can do BYOB SIP, meaning we can take their IP and then we can, in 30 days or less, create 15, 20 SIP trunks for them as backup or as main. Unlimited 1595, 595 basic. All right, our PRIs at 239, and here's our hosted product, 1895 all in, the app, the 410, and so on. Just like everybody else, PCI compliance and the scope of work. So, what is low-hanging fruit? How many people here have customers or partners that you pick up their phone and say, "Hey, Dave, I'm going to go over. I got something new I got to show you," and they'll say, "Yes, come over." How many people have people like that? Customers, right? Correct. That's what the first thing you're going to do to tell them you sell security as a service from now on. Educate, don't sell. Make sure they know that you have the product before they buy from somebody else. So guess what happens? You just went out there, and what do? People buy from people they trust and like, right? Now you're out there building a relationship. You're bringing up information that's relevant, right? You're letting them know that your price for DDoS is half, and they include a $5 in it. Now, since you're there, why don't you talk about their initiatives? You just had an appointment with them. What are you doing for 217, 218 as far as IT? What's your plan? Talk about the cyber strategies and introduce your TCG portfolio. They might be in the market for something else and you haven't seen them in months. And now you have something relevant to go see them for, right? Some of us haven't seen our customer for months, or maybe a year or two, right? Call them up. That's the first thing you do. While you're doing that, you're going to learn how to present. We created something for you guys real simple. This is called an elevator pitch in a slide, right? Mr. Customer, I sell raw internet. I wanted to tell you about that. I sell a lot of it. I sell it good. But now I have a new product called Telesystems that has secure internet, which means at the core, whenever traffic comes in, they block all the attacks. So if somebody tries to flood you, they block it. Botnets, they block it. Right? Third-party attacks, they block it. Can we talk about your cybersecurity plan, right? This, you can have that, and you can tell the story in one slide. Get it out there, right?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What happens when your product fails in terms of compensating the customer? It's not like if they have a $1.5 million HIPAA compliant violation, it's not like you guys stroke the check if they have all your services.
Right.
So
right.
It's kind of, like, what's up with that?
You know what's funny? I was having a conversation with a customer, and I said, okay, it's half the price, so I'll put yours up front, and then I'll put the raws backup. I said, yeah, so if ours fail, you use the backup. He goes, wait a second, the backup doesn't have DDoS. I go, I know, but you don't have DDoS today, right? So that conversation comes up. So for compliance, they got to have cyber liability insurance,
Yep.
right? So they're the organization, they have to have that product.
Right, but so then the next conversation is, well, why have DDoS if we have cyber liability insurance anyway?
Yeah. Well,
If you're not going to stand behind the,
well, we have a 9399997 SLA, but what happens is you're going to be down the whole day.
well, no, I'm not talking about down for the
Talking about the
internet pipe.
cost.
I'm
We're talking
talking
about the
about
cost and the
you guys
mitigation.
fail to squash a bot.
Oh, I
Right.
see.
Oh,
So
okay.
we have cybersecurity insurance as well. So if that came down to it, then there's just a conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it probably involves lawyers and not me.
Right. Okay, but no, it's not about your product,
Yeah.
your internet pipe going down, because the whole point of DDoS is for you to squash the
Correct,
bots
correct.
and the net bots. So if you guys fail to do that, then you're saying, oh, they have to have cyber liability insurance. But
Correct.
If they have cyber liability insurance, then why do they need the DDoS?
You can't
But-
get insured unless you meet certain specifications, so that's part of that. I know for us to get cyber insurance, we have to go through third-party HIPAA, PCI,
Sure.
and SOC audits. So it's the same thing on the customer side, and you know, different types of premiums carry different things that you have in place. So that's all part of it. But you know, at the end of the day, it's really just a conversation, and if there's a breach and there's some exposure, then you know, that's something that we would just
Yeah.
talk about. Thankfully, it hasn't happened.
Do you have any statistics of your product and the average decrease in cyber liability insurance premiums?
No, that's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good takeaway.
Yeah. I'll send you, this is the report, Gartner does not do DDoS, right? But third-party people like NSS Lab, they rated us supreme or best recommended, and there's a whole report on that. This is the short, but I have the 20-something page report. It shows how they're 99% efficient and so on, like everybody else. You know, it's not 100%, but it's up there. Okay, so I can send you that later. Who likes cookies? All right? Nate, you like cookies?
White chip macadamia.
Who likes the Samoas? 500 calories per cookie. Who likes the Dosey Dots? I think that's the peanut butter. Glenn, I knew it. Thin Mints. So in Publix, twice a year I go to Publix, and there they are, the Girl Scouts, with a table full of cookies. What's the percentage of me buying the cookies? Right? So I buy $30, I give some away because I don't want any more. And then the rest of the year I go, they're not there. What's the percentage of me buying the cookies when not there? Zero. So let me ask you a question. How can your customers buy from you if they don't know what you have? That's the story of the Girl Scout cookies. You gotta tell them you have it. The first thing you do is go out there and say, I got a new product for you. I gotta tell you, put it on the table, make sure they don't buy from somebody else. Learn from the Girl
You
Scouts.
stock up on them when you see them, and then you wait until the times that they're not selling them.
So at 4 o'clock, I wake up and I eat them. But my wife is Dominican, she can smell coconut from a mile away. So she knows I just ate some Samoas. That's what I do. All right, how about marketing? You can put this on your presentation. Put your logo on it. And ask the question, bring it up. How are you gonna sell your cookies if you don't bring it up? How about that? Who has websites here? Websites? Who gets traffic on their website? Website? How about you put this on your website up front? Why? Because this is the most asked about product, security, right? When you do auto attendant, number one is the choice that make the most. You want to get them through the auto attendant. When they go to your website, they're looking for security most likely, right? So, and then when they go into the website, you can have the one slide, security cradle to grave on it. You can have the DDoS protection feature. You can have the elevator speech. You can have the report on the product being topped and so on, so they can start getting educated. And if they want it, they put their email in, and right now you can follow up on them.